How on earth is, one lazy white guy sitting around in a big house gonna forcibly control a whole bunch of like strong, healthy slaves? You cannot control them physically if you don't control them mentally.
Mm,
To me, what is both scary and hopeful is that right now the same problem exists. It's a different flavor of slavery, but the same problem exists in that the people who are being victimized by authoritarian extortion and domination, they have been taught to believe that it's perfectly fine, it's necessary, it's essential, it's legitimate. This is how things are. This is how things have to be. This is how things will always be, and they have all of the same mental traits that Frederick Douglass, who was a slave, described in his fellow slaves when he described his own process of escaping the mentality. And to us, it seems like, well, this is obvious, but to him, it was like a process of realizing, I don't think this is okay. Like, why do we have to work for that guy? And like, why does he claim to own us? Now, for us living here and now, we'd go, well, that's obvious. Yeah, it's obvious because that's not something we were indoctrinated into. What we were indoctrinated into is be a good law-abiding taxpayer and do as you're told and follow the rules. And if you don't, you deserve whatever the legislation and legislators do to you because you have an obligation. It's the same mentality. And the reason I find hope in that is because if you change the mentality of the victims, it's over. You don't have to change the tyrants. You don't have to overthrow them. You
mm,
don't have to do anything to them if you can get their intended victims to realize we own ourselves. We're not beholden to these psychos. No election, no constitution, none of their weird rituals actually make it legitimate for them to forcibly dominate us. But it is a huge mental shift that people have to go through, just like it was a huge mental shift for Frederick Douglass to figure out this isn't okay. I'm not this guy's property. I don't have an obligation to work for him. I would be perfectly justified in running away or kicking his butt or something, doing whatever I have to reclaim ownership of myself.
mm.
But the mental process has to happen first, which is why pretty much every project I do focuses on trying to get the victims of authoritarianism out of the slave mentality. Like you look at every tyrannical regime and you think, oh, the big nasty tyrant at the top. Well, where did his power come from? Where did he get all this money and his tanks and his bombs and stuff? Oh, they were paid for by the law-abiding taxpayers, and the trigger fingers pulling the guns for him were the normal people who were who chose to be thugs for the state, whether it's this country or any other country. And so it it's so hard for people to realize if they're good people and well intentioned that they're the problem. And I'm just going to say it bluntly, if you believe in government and you vote and you believe in the Constitution and democracy, you are the problem, not because you're malicious, not because you're stupid, not because you're evil, but you are absolutely the problem because you've been taught to believe a lie, and all of your perceptions and your words and your actions are a result of you falling for that lie and reinforcing and legitimizing your own victimization.
We learn self contradictory phrases.